Hello, welcome to our channel. Please subscribe for more updates, as we keep you updated with your favorite celebrities. In a moment both heartbreaking and breathtaking, Rihanna bid a final farewell to her beloved father, Ronald Fenty, with a tribute that moved her family, friends, and an entire island to tears. The sun hung low in the Caribbean sky as a cloud of white doves rose into the air, soaring above the hills of Barbados, each wingbeat a silent message of love, release, and remembrance. It wasn't just a funeral. It was a spiritual farewell. One that turned grief into grace. One that reminded the world how Rihanna's love for her father went beyond words, beyond history, beyond pain. It reached the heavens. The ceremony took place at a peaceful hilltop cemetery overlooking the waters of St. Michael, not far from where Rihanna spent her childhood. Close family, childhood friends, and selected guests gathered in the warm island breeze, many holding white roses, dressed in shades of cream and soft gray, colors chosen by Rihanna to represent peace, memory, and the beauty of life's ending. Though she has long commanded global stages, on this day Rihanna stood not as an icon, but as a daughter, grieving, reflecting, and deeply present in the moment. She was quiet, but strong, said one relative in attendance. You could feel the weight she was carrying, but you could also feel how determined she was to honor her father with dignity. At the heart of the ceremony was the dove release, a symbolic ritual planned entirely by Rihanna herself. With the help of local organizers and A$AP Rocky, who stayed silently by her side the entire day, Rihanna arranged for dozens of white doves to be set free at the exact moment her father's casket was lowered into the earth. The number, according to sources close to her, was intentionally chosen to represent both personal significance and spiritual meaning. As the doves took flight, gasps and soft cries rippled through the crowd. The birds circled high above the gathered mourners before scattering in every direction, their white wings catching the last golden light of the setting sun. It was like watching prayers fly into the sky, said a local pastor who gave the closing blessing. You could feel that something sacred had just happened. While she didn't speak publicly during the service, Rihanna shared a private letter with her family and closest friends before the ceremony. In it, she wrote, "Daddy, we didn't always have the perfect road, but I always carried your name with pride. I see your strength in me. I hear your laugh when I smile. I feel your spirit in every beat of my heart. Today, I set you free, not because of let go, but because I love you enough to let you soar. Fly high, Daddy, I'll see you in the doves." That line, according to multiple guests, was repeated over and over in whispers as the doves disappeared into the horizon. Throughout the ceremony, A$AP Rocky was never far from Rihanna's side. He held her hand as she placed a flower on the casket. He wrapped his arm around her shoulder during the prayers. And when the doves were released, he stepped back, allowing her to stand alone and lift her eyes to the sky, giving her space for her moment, while still standing firmly behind her. "He's been her peace," said one of Rihanna's cousins. "He didn't try to fix her sadness. He just stood with her in it." Barbados came out in quiet support for one of its brightest stars. Though the ceremony was private, neighbors stood outside respectfully. Some lit candles along fences, others stood with their hands clasped in prayer as the hearse passed by. For a country that raised her, and a father who lived and loved on the same island soil, it was a collective goodbye, one that echoed through the hills and skies. Rihanna's tribute was more than just beautiful. It was healing. It reminded everyone present, and everyone who would later hear of it, that grief is not just about loss. It's about love that's so strong, it needs to be released into the air. The image of her, standing still with tears on her cheeks as the doves vanished into the blue, is one that many said will stay in their hearts forever. As the ceremony ended and guests made their way back down the winding paths of the cemetery, Rihanna lingered a while longer, just her, Rocky, and a few family members. She knelt beside her father's resting place, placed her hand on the grave, and whispered something no one else could hear. It was her last goodbye. But it was also the beginning of something new. Because even though she let go that day, the sky full of doves made one thing clear: love doesn't end, it takes flight. Thanks for watching and see you guys on the next video.